The U.S. is facing retaliation from Canada, Mexico, and China over sweeping tariffs announced over the weekend. And crews continue to scour the Potomac after last week's deadly mid-air collision outside Washington, D.C. Good morning. I'm Windsor Johnston from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. Nearly all of the programs funded by the United States Agency for International Development have been put on hold. NPR's Franco Ordonez reports the agency's website is down, and hundreds of employees and contractors have been let go within the past week.
Trump really tore into the agency, basically charging that it was poorly run. He and his team, do want greater control over the department or with the work that they do. They want greater control over the spending, and they feel that too much money is going to causes that are not in U.S. interests. Now, lawmakers are concerned. Democrats have actually warned that Trump cannot just shut down USAID on its own without going through Congress.
That's NPR's Franco Ordonez reporting. Canada and Mexico are pledging to retaliate against President Trump's decision to impose 25% tariffs on those countries. In addition, Trump announced 10% taxes on Chinese goods. NPR's John Ruwitch reports Beijing is also promising to fight back.
President Trump's 10% tariffs on Chinese imports and up to 25% on products from Canada and Mexico will go into effect after midnight tonight. Trump says he wants them to do more to stop the flow of immigrants and the synthetic opioid fentanyl. During Trump's first presidency, Beijing matched Trump's tariffs with tit-for-tat tariffs of its own on U.S. goods. This time, the Chinese government says it will take, quote, corresponding countermeasures, although it hasn't said exactly what that means. China's Commerce Ministry says it'll file a lawsuit against the U.S. at the World Trade Organization and says the new tariffs violate WTO rules. The Foreign Ministry and Police Ministry say China has gone out of its way to help the U.S. fight fentanyl, but tariffs will undermine cooperation. China is a major source of the precursor chemicals to make the drug. John Ruwitch, NPR News, Beijing.
Emergency crews continue to scour the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. after last week's deadly mid-air collision between a passenger jet and military helicopter. NPR's Emma Bowman reports the National Transportation Safety Board says it expects to release a preliminary report on the crash within 30 days.
The Potomac River waterway remains closed to unauthorized vessels as divers search the frigid depths for the bodies of the remaining crash victims. D.C. Fire Chief John Donnelly gave the update during a news briefing on Sunday.
It is my belief that we're going to recover everyone. If we knew where they were, though, we would already have them out.
All 64 people aboard the passenger plane and all 3 people in the Black Hawk helicopter were killed in the Wednesday night collision. It's the deadliest air crash to happen in the U.S. in 2 decades. Emma Bowman, NPR News.
Several people remain hospitalized after a small plane crashed in Philadelphia on Friday night. The crash claimed the lives of 7 people and injured nearly 24 others. The National Transportation Safety Board says the medical transport plane was in the air for less than a minute before it went down in a busy section of northeast Philadelphia. The Grammy Awards were held in Los Angeles last night. NPR's Isabella Gomez Sarmiento reports the Recording Academy honored both longtime artists like Beyoncé and rising stars like Sabrina Carpenter.
Beyoncé finally took home her first Album of the Year Grammy for Cowboy Carter. Rapper Kendrick Lamar also swept in the Record of the Year and Song of the Year categories. Notably, the Recording Academy also spread the wealth to a new generation of rising stars. Chappell Roan won Best New Artist. Charli XCX and Sabrina Carpenter, who also had major commercial breakthroughs in 2024, each took home awards. Carpenter won in the pop categories, while Charli won for dance and electronic music. Isabella Gomez Sarmiento, NPR News.
I'm Windsor Johnston, and you're listening to NPR News from Washington.